Welcome back to the Rogue Wave podcast. Thrilled to be welcomed by Jenna Shaw, actress extraordinaire. She has, in addition to a number of impressive credits on shows like Cobra Kai, Dopesick, and AMC's Creepshow, she has a new movie coming out. It is A Savannah Haunting, and I got to tell you, from the trailer and the poster, looks pretty just terrifying, just absolutely terrifying. So I think if you're a horror fan, I think we'll be pretty. Is that fair to say, Jenna? Are we going to be sufficiently scared?
It warms my heart every time someone says they get freaked out by the trailer. So yeah, I it's a really intense ride, I guess.
Yeah, the movie poster reminded me of like The Ring, and that just terrifies the hell out of me because like just having like the little girl and
kids are just scary.
Yeah, they are.
In movies. I mean, in general, maybe they're a little scary, but also like in horror movies, they're
yeah, absolutely terrifying. Talk to us about the new movie. Actually, give us the elevator pitch. Give us your part in this, and then I will gladly talk about your Best Actress awards as well that you won for it as well too. But give us the elevator pitch first.
So Savannah Haunting is about a family that moves cross country. They buy this old home in Savannah to start fresh after the death of their daughter. And immediately upon moving in, the mom starts experiencing some weird things that make her believe she's being haunted by her dead daughter. Ugh. So a bunch of weird, spooky things start happening. And it's scary.
And you are the one being haunted, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm the mom. I play Rachel Rancourt, and she's the one who's in the house a lot because she's like settling in, and all these weird things start happening, and starts to question her sanity. So it's kind of like this slow spiral into Crazy Town.
Now, how enjoyable is this, as you are a self-proclaimed horror and sci-fi fanatic, to be starring in a really scary your pants off horror movie?
Oh, it's the coolest shit ever. I love it. I was like, when I got the audition, I was like, this is mine. Yeah. This has to be mine. Because I've done a couple of horror things before. I still have not been disemboweled or beheaded, which of course is a goal of mine. Only in the movies. But if I could get
good qualifier.
Yeah. Oops. Gotta throw that.
Yeah, I gotta clarify for the internet audience.
Yeah, no, just in the movies, people.
Yes, okay.
Just in the make-believe world. Yeah, I mean,
we will try hard not to dox your location now. After.
Yeah, let's not do that.
We'll do our best.
No, we're good.
Thanks. But I know I'm sloppy with what I say sometimes, but I really do. I want to get disemboweled, or just have like one of those classic like throat slashing in a movie. Like just I want the blood. I want it.
We had an actress on, her name escapes me at the moment, but she was in a horror movie last year that came out, and we asked her, like, what was it like? She got killed on screen. Like, what was it like watching yourself die on screen? She's like, I haven't watched the movie. She filmed everything, but she didn't want to see the death sequence. She was kind of like, yeah, it's a little weird. She's like, she went to the premiere eventually, and saw it, but she's like, yeah, I didn't, it was weird.
Oh my gosh, I would be having a party. I would have it on like a loop. I mean, I understand my parents were like, do you die? I don't want to. And I'm like, I get that. Like family, they were like, it's a little much. But I would be. It would be I would have probably stills framed all over my house. I'd be like, it finally happened.
Is it the experience of dying, or is it the whole movie rigmarole of actually having prosthetics and squibs and stuff like that? That's what you want. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
I want that experience, and I also want that shock of like when you finally see that happen in a movie, you're just like, ah. If you're like, I mean, because I like it. So, and it's just like, I mean, have I died? I don't think I've died in anything. Have I? I mean, I'm sure I have.
Not on camera.
But like, that's definitely a goal. But
we don't know what happened to your Cobra Kai character. We're not
I
sure.
know. I'm like, why couldn't she just come back and do something? But yeah. So, but here's the thing with the movie. We shot in the house the film is based on.
Oh wow.
So
man.
like a bunch of the things that happen in the film really happen in the house. So we were reenacting them in a way.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And the house is really, really haunted. Oof. And that's not like, oh yeah, we're going to sell tickets. No, the house is really haunted. It's terrifying. It's not normal. It's not right. And shooting in it was really weird. So it was kind of trippy because our director, Mark, was like, listen, some of these things happen, but I don't want to tell you until we shoot them. And then you're going to guess which things happened in real life. And then, you know, I was right on a couple of them, but
did you guys as a, like, A, was there a lot of night shoots? I got to imagine there was. So, and then B did you guys have anything happen that you kind of go, like, what was that? What was that? You know, it was a little weird thing. Any weird stuff happen?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, we did a bunch of night shoots. Yes. But we also had a lot of daytime stuff, and also we shot, day for night. So it's like they duvetine all the windows and all that just to make it dark in there. But the night shoots were, I mean, it was just dark in there. The lighting is not right. And it was just, you didn't want to be in a room by yourself, or even you wanted to be with like a group of people, because it was so, it really is that frightening. It does not feel like a normal, it just doesn't feel right. You're always unsettled. And then, wait, what was the other question?
Just the night shoots, and if anything weird actually did happen.
The weird stuff. Okay. So, there's this one room that there's like the bedroom, and then there's this bathroom area. And then you take 2 steps down into this closet that's like 10 feet long. I mean, it's this really long, narrow closet, and all the actors were kind of like drawn to this room. So we would all sit in it, and it was this tiny ass little room, and they would keep the wardrobe in there, but we all liked it for some reason. And we would just, like, 5 of us would just squeeze in there, and there were other places to sit, like couches, but we all were really drawn to this. So we had wrapped out the top floor, and they were shooting downstairs, and everything's downstairs now. And I, like usual, like to hang out in that room, go over lines, whatever. And I was leaned up against the door that was closed, because some of us would change in there. I was leaning up against the door, sitting on the step, and and then it was dun, 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 3 knocks, and I feel the door hit me 3 times. And I think it's one of the actors. So I jump up, and I'm like, I'm not naked, hold on. And I get up, and I turn around, and I open the door. No one's there.
Uh-oh.
And I ran down, and I said, who came upstairs? And they said, no one, we're shooting. Just don't walk. And I go, no. Someone came and knocked on the door. And they're like, no one came. And then one other thing was, we had been wrapped out. We were shooting next door at a neighbor's house.
Sure.
And I ran back to go to the bathroom. And I like came upstairs in the room that it was already wrapped out, and there was all the windows facing the front. And I shit you not, there's like a couple of windows facing the front lawn, and on this one window there was a pile of flies. Ugh. And there was no food upstairs.
Sure.
Nothing. There wasn't anything rotting. It was just a pile of flies that just kept going on top of it, and it just didn't make sense. They weren't flying around the room. They were just like a cluster of flies. It was, and I was like, I'm gonna pee in the woods. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm out. And then a lot of other people had like similar experiences, but those were mine.
Wow. That leads to my other question. You don't actually have to answer this question, but if you were your character, if that was real, how long would it take? Because usually movies, in order for the movies to draw itself out, the characters are usually a little reluctant to react to things immediately, you know, because we have to have an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of movie. They can't just come in, something weird happens, and they walk right out the door, right? So how long would you take in reality if you were your character, you were living in that house, and you were setting up that house, and weird things started happening? How much longer than your character would it take for you to decide, okay, we need to leave?
Like a day. would be like, no.
Depends how much I sunk into the house, though. To be honest,
I know, but that's
in this
what,
market.
but that's what she's like. What am I? Because all this stuff happens immediately, and I think the film only takes place over a course of like 13 days. It's like, yeah. So, but she's constantly making excuses, like, oh, it's probably squirrels. It's like because you know, she's like, I've already caused some problems for my family. We're already dealing with enough. I gotta just, you know, I just got to push through this and everything will be fine. I would be like, call the realtor. I'm done. I'm not doing this.
And you'd be making that phone call from a hotel room, right?
That's the thing. I would
not that closet, that's for sure.
I would grab like my dog, my computer. I'd go to a hotel room and I'd be like, this is our new home until we sell this thing. So yeah, I just, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
It gives me, it gives me hope for humanity, because you watch those movies and sometimes they're like, come on.
I know.
You know how much and I mean, look, that's part of the charm of the film. That doesn't make the film a bad film, because you've got to, that's part of the genre. But sometimes it's like, come on. Honestly.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. It frustrates me too. But she's the one that experiences most of it, and the other family members are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if no one else is experiencing anything, then I'm ruining this for everybody. So there's all that pressure.
Also, if you're saying it only takes place over the course of 13 days, and that's not agreed. That's not like I've been here for 5 years and I'm just putting up with it, So that's fine. That works.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Now, in addition to horror, you are a self-proclaimed sci-fi fanatic as well, too. You were complimenting the X-Files action figures on the back, which is excellent.
Well done.
I always appreciate that. You wanted to play Ripley when you were younger, right? You wanted to smash some aliens. I was in my research, my internet research, Google, came across that, and that's kind of awesome. I feel like, having seen your work, I'd be like, yeah, I could totally see her smashing aliens. How close to a reality is this for you? Smashing aliens and being in sci-fi. I mean, you've kind of already crossed that with Creepshow a little bit, right?
Yeah, but I didn't get to do any. I didn't get to smash aliens. I didn't get to do anything crazy fun.
No,
like that. I was like this, like the straight character I was the mom, because that's where I'm at in my career. But the monster that we got to work with, this like the giant monster in that episode of Creepshow, it was huge. It was the size of a car. It was like built like full on with foam. Like we were taking pictures with it. It was so cool. And I think Greg Nicotero took it home and like kept it, and like he still has it outside by his lake or something. I don't know. But I was like, you can't throw this out. I was like, can I put it in my yard? It was, so that was cool. I would love to smash aliens. I would love to do something sci-fi, like true, like outer space, because I'm such a nerd when it comes to alien stuff that my friends, like when I start talking about UFOs and aliens, they just kind of drown me out.
We will not to bore the podcasters out there or the people out there. I could talk UFOs for hours and days. Like I love all the that's one of our ongoing conversations we have here, because I would prefer
next to your Oak Island obsession.
Do you watch Oak Island?
I did. I haven't seen anything recently.
You haven't missed anything. Don't worry. They haven't found anything yet.
Okay.
They always come really close to finding something.
Yeah, got to keep the show going. Can't find anything yet.
I think this year they're going to do it, though. I think they're going to do it. I really do. No, but by the end of the day, I'm just exhausted, and rather than get in, there's so much TV out there. I mean, Dope Sick is on my list of things that I want to consume as well too. But I've
seen it; it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, look, Danny Strong is amazing. I'm a big fan of him. Michael Keaton. I mean, how can you not want to watch it? But I'm like usually exhausted, so I will throw a UFO documentary on.
You are speaking to my heart. Yes.
I gotcha. That's the Jersey in you. See?
Yeah. Listen, I have seen things in the sky. And witnesses too, and I've taken pictures of things.
Oh my goodness!
Like I'm like that. Like
I love it.
Like some people are, oh, she's a weirdo. Like you know what? If you saw the things that I saw with my friend that day, like you would be questioning.
Well, now what did you see? I mean, now I'm just curious about this.
Well, it's a long story. No,
Mm.
my friend and I were outside the Queen Mary. We stayed overnight there to like go ghost hunting.
Dude, that is spooky.
And all we did was like drink a lot of wine and eat popcorn. And we're like, there are no ghosts. But then we went outside, we're leaving, and my friend pointed at the mast, like the ships, and I looked up and I go, what's that? And there were like these weird silver things that were so high up, and there were 3 of them, and they kept changing formation. And I was like,
goodness.
So I started recording it, and you can hear us going, oh, well, maybe they're weather balloons. And I'm like this, aliens, aliens, in my head, because I didn't know where my friend stood on that stuff, because I never talked to her about it.
Sure.
And then we would see it kept going into 3 different formations, and we were like, she's like, this is really weird. So I ran over, grabbed some dude like out of nowhere, and I was like, come over here. And he was working on something electrical, and he's like in overalls, and he was like, what? And I pointed and I said, do you see that? And he had a really thick Russian accent, and it's a detail because it's all on video. Sure. But he said, humanoids. And I go, humanoids. And then the 3 of us stood there for an hour watching these things.
Oh my goodness.
Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, more popped up.
Whoa.
And there were 8 of them. And then we saw this thing that looked like it shot out of the water. And I swear it went, and even she says it on the video, it does this like a jellyfish.
What?
And then it goes and meets up with the other ones. And then one of them disappears.
See, the best thing is you have witnesses for all this, and you have it on camera. I mean, it's, look, there's some weird stuff we can't explain.
And I'm like, I'm right. I'm right. And then of course, like I call my parents, because they're like, they love sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I was like, you'll never believe what happened. And my mom's like, they're out there. We know this. And
it's a very mom thing to say.
But she kind of nerded out too. When I showed her all the videos, she's like, you got something. So
you got to put it out there, and I'll tell you why, because then you can get on the UFO circuit. I mean, that's a whole machine of people that just comment, and you could be an Ancient Aliens. You should be. Why not?
Honestly, I'm like, who do I take this gold mine of footage to?
You took it to us. Take it to us right now. We'll make things happen. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but
we know. Yeah, we'll figure it out by next show.
Don't take me on face value. But, well, I will at least enjoy it. I'll at least enjoy it from a
oh my gosh, yeah.
Stand. Speaking of Dope Sick, before you were in 2 episodes. What is that set like? I mean, we mentioned again, there's Emmy winners, there's Oscar winners, there's just, I mean, it's how did you feel walking into a set like that, and what was your experience like?
We shot during lockdown, partial lockdown. It was not your typical experience shooting, so I cannot compare it to anything.
Sure.
We had to stay away from each other at all times, except when we were shooting. We had 2-3 masks, a face shield.
Oh my goodness.
So it wasn't your typical shoot.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much fun because of that. And it was my first when we shot Savannah Haunting, we were also shooting in a bubble as well.
Sure.
But it was a smaller production. Mm-hmm. They kept us separated. So aside from like, we did a Zoom table read, which was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, because I'm like looking at my little box and I'm like, Michael Keaton, Rosario Dawson, Caitlin Dever. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, my face is neck. I was like, this is crazy. So
did you take a screenshot? I hope you took a screenshot.
I was just about to ask that.
Of course I did. I mean, I was like,
that'll go right up against where you get dismembered and your and a still frame of your UFO.
That would finish the photo wall. Yeah. So, I mean, it was, some of the biggest names in the industry, icons, and you're like, oh, I'm part of this. So for that reason alone, it was awesome, because I worked with a lot of people, but it was like so many.
Does that give you like validation? Does that, I remember, Hassan and I are both comic book creators, and I got published by one of the major publishers, and I got to sit next to people I grew up like idolizing in the comic book industry to do a signing for my book. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, this is like my 10-year-old self envisioned this happening, and it happened, 20 years later, but it gave me like, a sense of validation, a sense of like, I did the right thing kind of deal. Did you feel that in any way?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. I was like, all right.
Hassan loves your answer. Anytime I can ask a question and you just brush it off, he's gonna just
with
love
with a single word answer. I
you
love
just
those.
made his, just like it's funny. You made my day talking about UFOs. You just made his day doing that exact thing. That's what he lives for.
Well, she's already got the support of her family, so she knows she made the right choice.
You always got
career,
the family. I mean, the family's gonna be behind you, right?
Oh, any
not
type
always.
of validation is good. Yeah, I mean, like especially when it's like, oh, good, you're trusting me to be a part of this giant thing. Yay!
Awesome.
Right.
So we talked about it off camera, but and Hassan, you weren't on yet. But full disclosure, I am a TV movie person. My wife is a book person, so we very rarely get TV shows that we like together and watch together. But we watched all of Cobra Kai season 1. I waited, and I've been waiting to watch season 2 with her because that's just what I do. But I gave up. I gave up and I started watching. So then, as fate would have it, the very last episode I watched was right before your episode. So it worked out great. Last night, plucked it right on, episode 8. I loved your... I don't... all right. Not knowing what comes after. Hassan knows because he watches everything and he's consumed everything. And so he knows the future of Cobra Kai. I'm sitting there going, she's got to come back on the show. Like, she's got to come back in the show. Just for the for the listening and viewing audience, you meet Johnny at a bar. It's a whole dating episode, and you are like the perfect match for him. But of course, his mind is elsewhere on another character. And I'm just thinking to myself, you got to come back. You have to come back in the season at some point.
Well, that's what I wanted.
It's like, this is perfect. This is Johnny Lawrence. I'm telling you, I feel good vibes that it's gonna happen. What was it like on that set? Because I think this is season 2 was way before COVID. So I mean, you got a more traditional, process here, right?
Yeah, no, that was like a normal, regular pre-COVID shoot. That shoot was awesome. It was so much fun. I'm a huge fan of Karate Kid, everything. When I auditioned for a different role, and then I remember they were like, "Can you read for this?" And like in the moment, I'm like, "Okay," and then I'm like, "Oh no, this is so good!" And then when I got it, I was thrilled because like William Zabka is one of the coolest like humans and actors. He's like such an actor's actor, and he's just such a chill guy.
Yeah,
like he's so nice. And he's so warm and welcoming. And we had so much fun. I mean, it took like 5 hours, 6 hours to shoot that scene. And, I bump into him and I was like, how hard can I bump into you? And he was like, bump into me. Well, after like 20 takes, he was like, don't bump into me so hard. But he was just so cool about it. And I was like, man, they better bring me back just for something. But spoiler for you.
I read the IMDb list. I was disappointed.
I disappear, and I'm like, but there was something.
You never know.
Why couldn't we just to work with him again? Would have I don't care if it would have been like, hey, just it was so it was definitely one of the best experiences I've ever had on set, working with one-on-one with an actor.
Well, this has been in one of our most enjoyable interviews. Can you tell folks what you got coming up? And I know we talked about Savannah Haunting. Where can people find that? Where can people find you online?
Okay, well, I have a couple of things coming up, but I can't exactly talk about them yet because I don't have permission. Okay. But once I do, then I can talk about it. But other things, not horror related, but they're still cool. And then Savannah Haunting is going to be in select theaters nationwide starting October 28th, but it's also on digital platforms. Cool. So you can pre-order it now or order it for your Halloween weekend. Get your scare on. get your spooky. And the only social media I ever really check, which is terribly, but I mean, I have an old phone. that I can't update the app to do certain things at this point, so I have to go get a new phone. But once I do, I'll be able to be more active. But
It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it.
But I have to because they're getting rid of the CDMA thing. If you know what I'm talking, yeah, I got an email. It's like your phone is prehistoric.
Yes.
Your phone will self-destruct in the next 30
I was like, you're threatening me. It was a threat. And I was like, calm down, everybody. But I guess I have to do this now. So, but my Instagram is I am Jenna Shaw. But it's Jenna with a G.
Look, I was convinced I was gonna say Gina at some point today because I butcher every guest's name, but I managed to not do it. So that's it. It's a perfect interview. We have had a perfect interview. Go check out Savannah Haunting. Go check out Genna Shaw on social media. I am Genna Shaw. Jenna, thank you so much. It has been a true pleasure to have you on.
This is awesome. Let's talk aliens later at a later date.
I got you.
We'll do a whole show.
Sure.
I'll interview the two of you. We'll do a whole show.
We'll talk about my face. Oh yeah, no, yeah. So much.
I'd be down for it.
So much. When we come back, more Rogue Wave podcast.
Bye.
Hi guys, Mike Dolce here from the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes, and tune in every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for a brand new episode of the Rogue Wave podcast.